Hey, it's Evie. Let's get straight to the point. I love ARMS. It didn't flop, but many people think it did. Let's look back at what it has, what it doesn't have, and see the amount of content and things there is to do. Let's go. ARMS is a fighting game where you use extendable arms to fight your opponent. Each arm has a different attribute, which you can customize which hand they're on and what combinations you use. Each character has their own ability as well as their own arm types, so the same arm on different characters have different playstyles. There are 15 characters. My main is usually Springman or Mechanica, and all their abilities are really unique and different, and those different abilities lead to different ways to fight everyone else. Let's start with multiplayer, the main focus of ARMS. There are versus matches that you can play locally with friends or computers, and you can customize the rules in game mode, like hoops and v-ball, basketball and volleyball minigames respectively. There are also skill shot, 1v1 or 2v2 trying to break the most targets in a limited amount of time. Headlock Scramble is a versus match, but there's an item called the headlock that can go on top of your head, and if you have 6 arms, you can fight to get control of it, or get rid of the person who has it. These are all fine minigames when you're tired of the standard fighting. I especially enjoy Skill Shot. Party Match is all these previous modes online with strangers or friends. Winning matches can get you currency, which you can use in the arm scatter, which I'll get to later on. If you're on a win streak, you can start the game with less health and get more money for winning. On the opposite side of the spectrum, if you're losing, you can get your rush at the start of the match. Another online mode is Ranked Match, best of 3, no items. You fill up a meter with points to rank up, but good luck finding a match because it's pretty dead. That's all you can do with friends, but what if you're playing by yourself? Like I said, you can play all previous modes with bots, but I'm not a loser, so no thanks. There's 1 on 100, trying to beat 100 of these dummies in a row, trying to get a low time to fight a boss at the end. But the biggest single player mode is the Grand Prix, which is pretty disappointing. You go through 10 rounds with a character and fight other characters to proceed with a few minigames thrown in. And at the end of it all, the final boss is Max Brass, and if you're on a high enough level, you get to fight Headlock. But that's about it in terms of that mode. Just more versus matches with a pretty cool final boss and great music. It takes about 30 minutes to go through each time, but you can stop off and pick up later, which I wish more games had this.
Then there's this lower part of the main menu filled with smaller things that can help you.
There's a place which shows you tips and certain characters that explains the modes and rules. This is useful if you're new to the game or trying to learn a new character.
Next is the dashboard, which is really cool. It shows rankings worldwide and movies for specific characters, and even tournament clips from Nintendo-held tournaments. Leaderboards show top 200 players from your region or the world, and you can search by which character. The tournament clips and character videos are nice, trying to show a competitive side of the game. I wish something that was a bit more successful competitively, like Splatoon or Smash, had this built into the game instead of using your phone.
Then there's the stats tabs, which shows off useful things. You can see each version, what arms you've used, your most played character, number of matches in each mode, gold earned, and even what controller you use the most. I wish more games had this, like I said earlier, Splatoon, just a stat screen that would show this. It would be more useful where Splatoon where more people would play competitively, and where more people play in general, but this is a nice addition to have. They really tried to make ARMS feel like a competitive game. Replays. Save replays of recent matches. Not much here unless you're looking at gameplay to get better, but it's just like replays in every other game. The gallery shows you artwork which you can buy with cash or by clearing the Grand Prix with a certain character. Some of this art is before the game released, and there's some completely new pieces. I really like this. It's very well detailed art, and it's amazing to look at. It's very well done. Badges are one of my favorite options. You get a badge for doing something by completing a certain task. You can equip a badge to your profile so people can see it when you play online. I usually have this money badge equipped, but there's some cool ones. But some of them are exclusive to Party Crash, which I'll get to later, as I said earlier. There's a badge for playing 500 rounds with the horizontal Joy-Con. Why would you do that to yourself? You can get cash for getting badges and it encourages you to get more. Like I said, small little achievements and cool ways to show off some challenges you've done. Set arms where you equip arms you get from the arm getter. You spend gold to play the arm getter, which is a small mini-game where you break targets getting arms for different characters. This is basically the same as Skill Shot. This is really the only use for cash in the game. You can break targets and get a score bonus and grab clocks to increase the time. Hit the boxes with the character's emblem on it and you get an arm you already don't have for them. It's fun to get a high score and get arms for more characters. This is where you'll spend most of your time if you want to complete everything in the game. You choose from short, medium, or long timers, and you get the most rewards, go for long. If you only want a few arms, choose medium. really short isn't worth it, and you might as well just go long every single time. There's a lot to do with ARMS, but most of it's multiplayer or single-player fights. There are some mini-games like Hoops or Skill Shop, but those are something you could try to play for a high score. But if you're not interested, you really got nothing. You can't even get all the available badges anymore if you're a completionist. Some of them are linked to Party Crash, which I mentioned earlier. The easiest way of explaining it is a more complex version of Splatfest from Splatoon. You choose a character to fight and you get points based on wins or losses to fill up a meter to gain levels. You get a badge every 5 levels, and after 10 you get a previous Party Crash badge. Every increment of 15 minutes, there are select arms that give you multiplier bonus for your points. And the last 5 minutes of the hour, you get 3 times the amount of points, which really helps you rack up the points. It was fun while it lasted, and sad to see it gone. It was a bit complex, but if you stacked a bunch of multipliers together, you can get a lot of points. And at the end of the Party Crash, you got a badge for siding with the character you played as, and 50 cash times the level you ended off with, which is a great way to get cash. They usually lasted for about 2 days. One thing that could have benefited ARMS is a single-player adventure mode. Imagine going along a path and defeating enemies from 1 on 100. You get to a destination to fight a character. Think a Ring Fit adventure. You can get badges and achievements in this adventure mode. This could lead to some wacky storytelling and give some of the characters more backstory. My problem with ARMS is there's no definitive end in sight for the casual player. You can grind all the different ARM types and badges, but even if Nintendo charged $15-ish for a decent-sized adventure mode, I would buy it. It's just the fact you're fighting and you're not leading towards anything, so it's really, what's the point? One thing Nintendo is trying to do in Europe is bundle multiplayer-focused games with Switch Online for a cheaper price than buying them separately. That would be smart for ARMS building its online community more. But then again, if you had the choice between Smash Ultimate and ARMS, we both know what everyone would choose. I love ARMS, and still play it from time to time. I wish there was more to do by myself, but when I'm by myself, I'd rather be playing a different game. This game didn't fail. It sold 2.1 million copies with continuous free updates after launch. Some players kept coming back, but it wasn't enough. I think if there was a bit more time and effort put into different places, ARMS could have been bigger than it currently is. I think it really died because of the lack of purpose. There's no true end in ARMS, so it feels like I'm doing all this for nothing. Also, a lot of badges are grindy, like fighting 500 matches with each character, and you can't even get a few of them anymore. I wish ARMS was a hit like Splatoon, but this is the first game. Maybe a sequel or a huge content update could bring interest back into it. It has a lot of content with ARMS, characters, stages, but nothing to do with it other than versus matches. It's still a great game, but if there were a few more modes that weren't just versus matches, I think it could have had more purpose for the casual player. Wow, I literally had the script written since October, so I actually decided to tweak the script a bit and actually do it. I had most of the gameplay, but I just didn't want to do it, and I don't know why. Thank you all for your support. We're almost at 100 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. I don't know what I'll do next week, but I'll see you next Saturday with a new upload and stream. Discord and Twitter in the description. Thanks everyone. Bye.